Hello and welcome to this week's video. We're going to be looking at my top 3 exercises for building really strong wrists for handstands and for acrobatic movements. Now, before you do these exercises, you want to make sure your wrists are warm, so make sure you do a quick wrist prep before you get started. Now, my favorite way to train the wrists for strengthening them for handstand is training them in the position that you're going to be using them in your acrobatic movements. Okay? So we're going to have our hands flat on the floor. So we're going to do our first exercise with our hands in that position. So a few things you want to keep in mind. We want that nice contact with the heel of our hand on the floor as well as this knuckle area on the floor. You want your fingers spread wide and you want the tips of your fingers gripping the floor lightly. So we have that nice hand position. You're going to bring your shoulders so they are stacked directly above the middle of the palm of your hands. So this is our starting position. We're going to press down with our fingers and come up into this finger push-up position. A few important notes here. Okay, you'll notice that the weight is on the knuckle in my index and middle finger, but it lifts off slightly with my pinky. Okay, and my thumb is just kind of hanging out, not doing a lot. So this is the position we're looking for rather than this position over here. So we're going to lower slowly with control. So we're lifting up for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to lower for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now the position that I'm in with my hands fairly close to my knees is a great position to start in because I'm not putting a lot of weight yet on my fingers. As you progress, you can take your hands slightly further out. So in this position, it's going to be more challenging. So I push up for 3, 1, 2, 3, and lower down for 3, 1, 2, 3. And you're going to build up until you can do 10 to 15 reps in a particular position. Nice, slow, controlled tempo. And then you can start to progress this by taking your knees out. You want to make sure that when you're doing this, you're not taking your knees out and then pushing up in this position, because now we're not in that stacked position that we want for a handstand, and we're not loading our weight over our hands. So you want to make sure your shoulders stay stacked over that middle of the palm of your hands and that both hands press up at the same time. Over time, you'll be able to build up to the full finger push-up. Up nice and slow, 1, 2, 3. Lower, 1, 2, 3. And you will feel that through your forearms as well as through your hands and fingers. So that's my first exercise for building strength in your wrists and forearms. The next exercise is back of the hand press-ups. Now this is training on the other side of our wrist, and this is really important because we want to be balanced in terms of the strength on one side of our forearm and on the other side of our forearm. So this exercise is really great for creating that balanced strength. So again, for this one, we're going to start with our hands close to our knees. And at first, don't put a lot of weight on your wrist. This can be a very challenging position for a lot of people. We don't spend a lot of time here. We don't put a lot of load in this position on a daily basis. So be very gentle and progress slowly. So we're starting with the backs of our hands on the floor. Then we're going to press down, okay, with our fingers, and we're going to come up to this closed fist position. And then we're going to lower slowly down. So we want that same count of 3 to come up. 1, 2, 3. Count of 3 to come down. 1, 2, 3. And right now, a lot of the weight is on my knees. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of weight on my hands, but that's really what my wrists need. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you can progress this one as you get stronger, taking your hands further out. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. But really make sure you're progressing slowly and don't start this one by going into a full plank and just trying to get through it. You want to make sure you're keeping your wrists nice and strong and not hurting them by doing these exercises. Our third exercise is wrist rockers. So this one we're strengthening in this position. So you're going to start with your fists on the floor, shoulders over your hands. You're going to bend your elbows, come down so that the eye of your hand is pointing up. You're going to rock back up, and then you're going to keep your wrist going all the way over until this part of your hand, you're trying to get that flat on the floor. So we're coming over to here, back, and back down. And this will build a lot of strength through your wrists on the sides. So now we've built strength here on the sides and here, and we have those really strong wrists of steel. So these 3 exercises are building strength in all directions of your wrist. And that's going to really help you with handstands and acrobatic movements, because you can't always guarantee your wrists are going to be in that one same perfect position. You're going to be moving around, you're going to be adjusting, and you want to make sure that your wrists are strong and able to withstand everything that you're going to be doing.